I'm really, really thrilled to have GiveQuick working in our space, but also creating a program like this with Indiegogo. And I'll let Jason just get us started. So, Jason, here you go.
Thank you, Ken. Hello. Hello. I can hear you. Hello. We are being live streamed now right now to the rest of the world. So what we need everyone here to do is make it sound like there's a million people in here as well, as outside of the world.
Oh, you are?
If you,
Okay.
there are 3 empty seats right here. I'd love it if someone would come and sit down here, please. Please. Don't make me pull the birthday card. It is my birthday. Please. 3 people right here. Okay. Here's how it's going to work. We have 10 causes that are going to give 2-minute pitches to you wonderful people. And they're going to be using the GiveQuick voting page that we had up all day today, the give.nyc. Who's got a cell phone in the audience? Everyone, right? You should go to give.nyc now and follow along, right? Out there in the audience, you should also go to give.nyc and follow along. Each of the presenters is going to come up to stage, find their own profile on the page, and present their cause to you. You're going to pay attention, and you're going to figure out which ones you like, and you're going to vote. Your votes here in the audience and out there in the cyberspace you all are going to vote and help GiveQuick and Indiegogo and the 6 other companies working together decide how we're going to give away $5,000. Okay? Woo! That's a lot of money. Okay, so of the nonprofits in the audience, here's who we have presenting to you. Can you please, everyone, can I have your attention, please? Animals Asia is here. They're going to present first. Black Girls Code, are you in the audience? Black Girls Code, okay. Pay Away the Layaway, there you are. Word Up Community Bookshop. Okay, fantastic. The Rumi Initiative, right? The Walter Thurman III Foundation, the New York Giant is here tonight. Prep for Prep? Yeah. Yep. Teach for America, New York. There we are. Women's Annex Foundation. Here we go. Service Year. Yep. And Life Vest Inside. That is your lineup, folks. We're going to get started very soon. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Mr. Slava Rubin from Indiegogo, who will talk to us about Indiegogo, the rise of Indiegogo, Giving Tuesday, and give us a little insight from his experience. Thank you very much. A round of applause for Mr. Slava Rubin. Thank you, sir.
All right, whoa, that's pretty loud. Thanks, everybody. Let's start by just thanking everybody for who pulled this all together. I mean, this seems amazing. Incredible venue, great food, lots of drink. This is all actually being streamed, so kudos to the teams that pulled it together, so thank you. Everybody. Nice work. Often we think about our New Year's resolution, and I think most of us think about stuff about ourselves, things we want to change. You can consider it almost a little bit selfish. I think of Giving Tuesday as a great opportunity where you can think about what is that resolution that you want to do to impact the world. We can think about it once a year. Obviously, we could think about it more often. So using that as context, years ago, when I was a kid, my dad died of cancer. And 10 years later, because I wasn't able to deal with it for a long time, I finally decided to do something about that, and I started my own charity called Music Against Myeloma. That was in 2005. He died of multiple myeloma, which is bone marrow cancer. And it was actually that experience in 2005 of using the internet and email and PayPal and MySpace, because in 2005, most of us weren't on Facebook yet. And it was just very frustrating. So it was actually that experience that then led me to my 2 co-founders, where they had a mutual experience of frustration of trying to raise money using the internet. Danae talked about working with different filmmakers and entrepreneurs. Eric talked about what it was like being on the board of a theater company. And we all said, yeah, isn't it interesting that we all have this mutual frustration of trying to raise money using the internet? And that was the idea of Indiegogo. We then launched in 2008. Now we distribute millions of dollars every week around the world. The reason I share that story is because it was out of my own passion for my own issues that I was able to do something that then turned into what is remarkable, because now we have campaigns on Indiegogo that people fund babies through in vitro fertilization. So you can almost say it's like full circle. My dad died when I was a kid, but now we're funding babies in macro levels across the world. So it's really quite remarkable. All of you have similar stories. You have things that you are passionate about. You have things that matter to you, and you're just trying to figure out what is your Giving Tuesday moment as to how you will bring that to the world. So this is just a great opportunity to hear from others. You'll be inspired by these 10 stories. I think it's remarkable that one of them will win $5,000. I almost just doubled it by myself. Yes.
We have a pledge.
That's right. But the only last thing I would say is the numbers are cool, and the fact that this year we already have over $7 million in funding on the Giving Tuesday page is incredible, and over 400 campaigns. But let's just use like one actual story, right? So you have the Cyclones. I don't know if any of you here are a member of the Cyclones in Brooklyn and New York. There you go. It's a social riding club where they bike around. And they took that passion and they created a campaign on Indiegogo to be able to get city bike type functionality, where shareable bikes in Tanzania, because often the kids have to walk each way. And one of the biggest reasons why they don't get educated is because they don't actually get to school. So the members of the Cyclones from Brooklyn, I'm sure there's some people here from Brooklyn, were able to create a campaign on Indiegogo to raise money to get 100 bikes. And not only have they already gotten 100 bikes, and one bike can help 10 kids get to school because they're sharing it, they've actually already 2.5x their goal. So you have over 2,500 kids that are going to be able to go to school. And it's just amazing what everybody in this room and on Indiegogo and across the internet is doing. And with that, I just ask you, what's your Giving Tuesday resolution? Thank you. Yes, and now I'm going to introduce Maya from Animals Asia, and the competition will begin.
If you can believe it, more than 10,000 bears are held on farms in China and farmed for their bile. It's farmed through painful open gaping wounds, which is deemed humane. And the bile is used in traditional medicine. And in April, we announced that we were going to take over a bear farm and turn it into a bear sanctuary. It's quite an amazing story. The bear farmer came to us and said that he had decided that this was a cruel industry and that he wanted a better life for his bears. He was very careful. He took a good look at the work we did, and he decided that we were the ones to care for the around 130 bears living on the farm. So we've gone in. These bears were living on corn gruel and had barely any access to water. Since we've come in, they are eating delicious fruits and vegetables. They're developing beautiful full coats. They have tons of water. They have so much water that they have pools to splash in. They've had 3 visits by veterinarians who have removed teeth that were destroyed from their biting on the bars of their cages. They've had claws that were growing into the pads of their paws from not being trimmed. Those claws have been repaired. We have seen an amazing change in China. In China, the biggest pharmaceutical buyer of bear bile in China this year committed to researching synthetic alternatives. We also saw this year nearly 2,000 pharmacies commit to not using bear bile anymore. There's great change that has happened, and there's great change on the horizon. Thank you for your support.
Hi, I'm Matt Ronan. I did not expect to be here, but it's great to be here, all mic'd up. Can you hear me? Better? I'm Matt Ronan. I didn't expect to be here. You didn't expect to hear me. I am the CEO of Service Year, and Service Year is really my story, but I think of it as our story, the story of our generation, a generation that doesn't want to wait to give back. We want to give now. We want to serve first. And so, for me, Service Year started a few years ago, really, when I was a student at Cornell University in the business school. My last semester of school, I got mugged, got beat up pretty good, was briefly kidnapped, and as a result of that, I spent the next 6 months in recovery. Never went back to class again. And I used that time to recover, but also to introspect about my desire to want to make an impact and not want to wait till retirement to do it. The result of that thinking was, we have a problem. The problem is our career path it gets in the way of us doing good. And so I set out to disrupt the career path. Service Year is the first corporate-sponsored national service program. What we do is we partner with leading corporations to allow a portion of their incoming undergraduate class defer for 1 year. And for 1 year, we place the best and the brightest in the highest performing nonprofit organizations where they work full time. After that year, they go on to their corporate job. I see this as a win-win-win. It's good for college graduates because they want to do it. It's good for corporations because they're trying to attract the best talent. And it's also good for nonprofits that get access to this top talent at a fraction of the cost. So my ambition really is to create what I think is the next Teach for America. I have college deans on my board. I have former Fortune 500 CEOs advising me. We're on 20 college campuses, and we're launching this summer. So I would love your support for Service Year. Check us out and get involved. Thank you so much. Here, what would I like Service Year to look like in 10 years? And Service Year is a program, it's a fellowship, it's going to start small. My goal is to start with 18 people. But I see this as the beginning of a movement to do no less than disrupt the career path. I think the career path is broken. A career path that puts us on a course to make our biggest impact at retirement is broken. And so what I want to do is change that thinking. I don't know if that means we don't spend 4 years in college. We spend 3 years in college and 1 year in service. I don't know what that means. But I think we have to fix that, and I see Service Year as the tip of that spear. And I hope that, with your mind share and everyone else's, we'll find a better way to create a system where we can start our career with a year of impact and then go off and do everything we do.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lee Karshauer, and I am the founder of Pay Away the Layaway. I'd like everybody to rewind back to your childhood. You may have had a Christmas morning or a birthday, and you received a present from your parents or a loved one that made you run around the house screaming and yelling at the top of your lungs in excitement. For me, this was Nintendo, when Nintendo came out, and popping in Mario Brothers and blowing into the disc, getting it to work. And the holidays for many families is a very joyous time. But growing up, I realized that for many families out there that are less fortunate, the holidays are a very difficult time. So our organization, Pay Away the Layaway, was founded in 2011 with the mission of helping families who are struggling to pay for gifts for their kids during the holiday season. And for those not familiar with layaway, families that don't have a credit card or don't have the money to actually purchase gifts at stores like Toys R Us or Babies R Us or Kmart or Walmart will go to these stores and actually purchase the merchandise and put it to the side at the retailer. And what they'll do is they'll make periodic payments over time until that layaway is paid off, and then they can take their gifts home, hopefully in time for Christmas. And through this organization, I've gone around the country. I've visited stores in Tennessee, California, all over New York City, and we go into low-income neighborhoods where there's these stores, and we help families that are struggling to make these payments to pay off their layaway plans. And it's been a true blessing for me to go and actually interact and surprise families who are standing there in line, hoping that they can pay that last layaway payment and be able to actually make that donation for them on behalf of the great support that we get from everybody across the country who make donations to our website. And we call them layaway angels. Many of you may have seen stories in the news about layaway angels, and we're here to create awareness about the layaway angel movement and hopefully turn everybody in this room into a layaway angel as well. So thank you very much for your time. Are there any questions about our organization?
One question. Come on. want to be in 5 years?
So the question was, where do we see the organization in 5 years? I can tell you that next year our goal is to actually expand beyond the holidays and help with back to school. So back to school is another time where families will go to stores like Staples and Office Max and actually place school supplies on layaway. So we definitely want to support and kind of move into additional seasons. But the goal of the organization is really to help children. We are primarily focused on layaway plans that only have gifts for kids or geared towards kids and education, and really just kind of creating that experience that I talked about in the beginning of the presentation, of that excitement on Christmas morning or whatever holiday you might celebrate. Thank you very much.
Quick overview. So we're giving away 3 one-year memberships to Catchafire.org. Catchafire.org is a marketplace that connects nonprofit and for-purpose organizations to skilled volunteers who can help you with things like creating a website, a marketing plan, fixing your Salesforce database. And we're really excited about it. But what I'm here to talk about tonight is actually, well, it's a little bit of feedback. What I'm here to talk about tonight is actually volunteering in general and why we're really excited about this notion of using skilled professionals to help build capacity for nonprofit and for-purpose organizations. So when we look across the volunteering landscape, there's lots of things that people can do. You can paint a fence, clean up a garden, work with mentor a kid. You can also do things like help someone with their taxes or teach computer science. When you look on the far end, you have folks like lawyers and architects giving away their firm's time to actually do really great, amazing, huge things. And when we look at that, you see that it seems like there's this gap, which you have tons of professionals who are really capable people, like things like web design and marketing and even HR and strategy. And how do you actually engage them and bring them into the conversation for your organization? And why do you want to do that? Well, one, they're great. They'll help you. They'll actually make your organization better. They'll reduce your overhead costs. But most importantly, it's a group of people who are trying to do good, who don't necessarily want to give their money, who get really bored by painting a fence. And this is a great way to engage them. So that's what we do at Catchafire, and we think that this is a really powerful mechanism for engaging professionals and building capacity in your organization at the same time. So I'll give you an example. I've done a project. I've done a bunch of different things with different organizations. But back when I was working as a management consultant, I actually spent a bunch of time working with an organization called iMentor. And what iMentor does is they match kids in high school with mentors who work with them every week to talk about a new concept and help them get into college. And it would be great to be a mentor. It would be great to actually give them money, and I've done those things. But the thing that was really powerful was the return on my time investment for spending 6 months with them on a part-time basis while I was working and helping them create a 5-year strategic plan. And it's those kinds of things that I think are really inspiring professionals and actually build really high-quality, long-lasting relationships with people who are either currently or going to be the leaders of the world. So I think that's what I would encourage you guys to think about, is what does it mean to engage a person like that and have them work with you, not just on a program, but actually on how they can make your organization better. And the key to that is to keep in mind you need a really well-scoped, thoughtful exercise for them to do. It's ideally something that one person or maybe two people can do, and it's something that has a very clear and well thought out deliverable. Because the biggest failing that you see when you try to do this stuff is actually a mismatch of expectations. It's not a mismatch of intentions or a mismatch of effort. It's usually just around how to make sure that that person is doing the thing that they said they would do and that you thought they were going to do. And we do that really well at Catchafire, but there's lots of really great ways to do that and lots of organizations you can work with. So I would encourage everyone, as you're thinking about growing and launching your organization, to think about what are the ways that you can actually engage all this intellectual capital in New York City and elsewhere to actually make your organization better and more effective and well functioning. So with that, thank you guys very much.
I'm from Word Up Community Bookshop, Libreria Comunitaria. I'm the only one on stage right now, but I'm actually representing a 60-member, completely volunteer collective. All of us work as unpaid members of this collective at Word Up Community Bookshop. So what is Word Up? Word Up is a multilingual general interest bookshop and art space based in Washington Heights. Our aim is to help each other, our neighbors, our fellow residents, live better informed and more expressive lives using books as an instrument of reciprocal education and exchange to empower each other and our greater community. We did an Indiegogo campaign a couple of years ago to make this permanent space that we have now. We raised over $60,000 with over 700 funders. It's something that the community really, really wants and really, really needs. It's not just a catchphrase. We literally are built by the community, made by the community, and sustained by the community. And $5,000 would go so far in our budget. It's a huge fraction of our budget. And so it's just an untold, it would be so wonderful to be able to use that money for this cause. Our aim for Giving Tuesday is to raise $25,000. That's our goal for our current Indiegogo campaign, which we just launched yesterday. And it's to expand our Spanish language and bilingual book selection and to increase money and support for our youth programming. We're in Washington Heights. It's 3/4 residents of Latino Hispanic descent and more kids under 18 than anywhere else in Manhattan. Wrap it up. Oh, questions. Anyone have questions? Yes. Pardon me?
Where do you source the books? Like, where do you get the books from?
A lot of our books are donations made by individuals, by publishers. The donations, so we're 80% used bookstore, but the number of donations that we get in English outweighs the demand that we have for books in Spanish, and that is specifically why we were doing this campaign. And we also ordered new books that are in Spanish just to meet the demand that's in the neighborhood. And we have books that we've ordered for special events or things that are very heavily requested in the neighborhood as well. We also have local authors on consignment and support a lot of local presses and presses that are focused on social justice. Do you have a question?
Really, nobody get paid?
Not even I get paid, and I founded the place 3.5 years ago. Somebody's got to do the taxes, and I do them for free. Does anyone else have questions? Yes?
Do you have special pricing on your books?
A lot of the books are subsidized and priced to just sort of better match the median incomes in the neighborhood. And it just depends, I think, on where we've gotten the books. Yeah.
Do you have regular corporate sponsors?
No. Okay. Next up is Barbara from Rumi Initiative.
Ebola. But how about this? 99% of people who live in Liberia actually don't have Ebola. And how's this for another big problem? Over 1 million children have been out of school for over 4 months in Liberia, a part of the world where literacy rates are low and school systems are still recovering from years of civil war. The Rumi Initiative, just named World's Best Social Startup at Global Entrepreneurship Week, brings e-learning to underprivileged kids worldwide. And we offer a solution. If they can't go to school, we're going to bring school to them. We created the world's largest crowdsourced repository of free and offline usable educational content. We then preloaded this content onto this super power efficient $50 tablet, which means we don't need internet connection. We then added analytics so we can track student progress and measure impact, something you can't do with heavy and expensive paper. Unlock 15 minutes of Angry Bird time, but only if you finish your homework first. And finally, we sent these tablets over to Camp for Peace. Oh, I'm sorry. We sent these tablets over to Camp for Peace, a Liberian nonprofit that transforms the lives of young children and former child soldiers through education. The founder, Abel, told us that Rumi not only serves as a great tool that can help rapidly boost the education system in their country, but more importantly, it engages children in a remarkable way that promotes learning and peer support. So please help us send more of these tablets to Abel so he can expand this program in Monrovia. For every $50 that's donated to this campaign, it goes straight to buying a tablet for a Liberian kid. We have a 100% donation model, which means private donors cover our operating and overhead costs, and every public donation goes straight to the tablet. So please, help us send a full library for the cost of a book. Join us in Edu over Ebola. Thank you. Any questions?
If we want to help in other ways besides donating money, how do we do so?
So the question was, how can we help besides donating? So as I mentioned, we do have a repository of online, free, and offline usable educational content. We're looking to grow and build our community, and we're looking for volunteers to help us to curate this content. You can check us out at rumi.org or go to learncloud.rumi.org where you'll find this resource. We're always looking for volunteers to help us, so your time is just as valuable. And any other questions? Hi.
Once you give the tablet to a kid, does that kid automatically own the tablet?
So the question was, once we give these tablets to the kids, do they automatically own the tablet? Yes, they do. We work with on-the-ground NGOs, and they in turn work with the community leaders and teachers to help distribute these tablets. We encourage a one-to-one model, but depending on the resources and the money that's available, it will depend. But we do encourage that every child gets a tablet and bring it home, and that's where the real impact is, and when they can share this with their family.
We have the pleasure of having a true champion in the audience with us today, a Super Bowl champion, Mr. Walter Thurman III. Any New York Giants fans out there? Are there really New York Giants fans out there? Because those don't sound like New York Giants fans. Let's give them a real New York Giants fan welcome. Let's keep it going until he comes up here. You ready? Mr. Walter Thurman III and his colleague, Theodore Palmer. We're talking about the Walter Thurman III Foundation.
How's everyone doing? My name is Walter Thurman III. I play for the New York Giants. And this is Theodore Palmer, Development Director and Publicist. We're here on behalf of the Walter Thurman III Foundation for Arts and Education. Our goal is to support and sustain existing nonprofit organizations around the country as well as domestically. Domestically as well as international, And we have a couple of programs here in New York that we're partnered with. Harlem's Impact Repertory Theater, as well as United Way's Read New York.
All right.
And Theodore is going to elaborate on the rest.
All right, so thank you guys. The foundation is the Walter Thurman Foundation for Arts and Education. And what the foundation does is support partnering nonprofits that are in the mission of sports, film, literacy, and education. And what we're doing right now currently is supporting 3 nonprofits, and we really need your support in trying to fund these nonprofits. The first nonprofit is the Impact Repertory Theater, which is a consortium of young citizens out of the Harlem area, which speak on social issues such as Ferguson and Trayvon Martin and express themselves through the theatrical arts. It's founded by a brilliant guy who's a Columbia film director, and he takes almost 150 kids daily in a housing development in Harlem, and they just act and they express themselves and they become self-empowered. And Walter is affectionate about that because he's a filmmaker. So that was one of our causes. Our second cause is Read New York City, which is funded under the United Way umbrella for Greater New York. Read New York City is a program where it tries to bridge the gap of the reading levels of citizens and young adults, young children in New York, in all the boroughs. So the whole mantra behind it is try to bridge the gap of reading before the 3rd grade level. It's a brand new program funded by United Way and supported by United Way. And Walter believes that if we can teach kids to read before they get to the 3rd grade level and give them this equal playing field to read, then we have a good chance to try to make them better citizens. And our last program is Pros for Africa, And what Pros for Africa is our partnering organization with the NFL. Walter's grandmother was a recording artist way back in the day, and she's in Sierra Leone right now, digging up land and hanging out and trying to build a space. And we're gonna come over there in the next 2 years to build a music school and an art school in her name in Sierra Leone. So those are our 3 partnering organizations. Walter, people see him as a professional athlete, but he believes that the arts, literacy, and education is a good bridge that brings all our human being senses together, and it can empower individuals. Questions?
How long have you been around, and how long, what do you see in the future?
We see, you want me to talk? We see ourselves changing the world, really. You know, through his athletic platform, being a professional athlete, and having the resources of having other fellow fraternity athletes to support. So we want to be able to go and really bridge the gap of human beings with education, arts, and literacy. Any other questions? Yes.
Walter, what's been one of the most inspiring interactions you've had with
What can you repeat the question one more time, please?
in all this work that you've been doing, what's been one of the most touching or inspirational moments?
The most touching, inspirational moment to me was seeing the kids at the Impact Laboratory Theater. Just seeing their drive, their dedication, despite their socioeconomic situation, to be able to come into this safe space to where they can be free, express themselves amongst their peers and not be judged or bullied for that matter, and just see their drive and just how important it was to them to want to be educated, to go to college, and to be able to come back and be able to mentor the other youth that will come through that program. That was the most touching situation for me that I've come across so far. That's it.
All right, great. Thanks, guys. Thank you. One more giant hand for New York Giants, Walter Jones.
How's it going? I am Jason with Advowire. Our core company is Higher Influence. We specialize in influence marketing, word-of-mouth marketing. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that. It's what we do is help you leverage the audiences of others to extend your reach in social media. So currently you probably have your circle of friends, fans, followers that you have direct access to. So when you post a message out there, you're sort of limited to that reach. So when you put it out there, your friends and your fans and your followers, they love you, they'll do anything for you except when it comes to sharing your message on social media. We have found that to be sort of a difficult task to accomplish. So what we've done is create a method to help them share your message, and that's by incentivizing them. When you incentivize them, it gives them a reason to share your content. It becomes a win-win situation. So the platform is very intuitive. It's easy to go into. Create a profile and even invite people to that profile to donate and extend your reach, extend the duration of your campaign. So it's no longer just donate $20, go to my website. It's donate and keep this campaign moving. We found that to be an important aspect in spreading the reach over these campaigns. Right now, whenever you go directly to Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and you get something promoted, it's going to show up as a standard banner or advertisement. It's going to come in the news feeds, and more often that's getting blocked, it's getting ignored. When it's shared authentically, it's more engaging by somebody that they know. It's within their circle of trust. They're going to pay attention to it. And that's what we've done. Analytics are there. You can track on an individual advocate influencer level. You can find out where your ROI is at. Eliminate influencers that aren't getting the results that you're after. Clicks, shares, engagements. Track it all. Trying to think what else I need to cover here. So, oh, by the way, every one of the nonprofits gets a $100 credit to launch a campaign. If you have any questions, we will dedicate a client success director to assist you throughout the process. Reach out to me directly. Jason's got my information, that Jason over there, or talk with me after the event.
Okay, without any further ado, no pause tonight. I'm going to introduce someone who I know very well. She knows me very well. Her name is Jennifer Rosado. She's my sister, and she's going to talk on behalf of Prep for Prep. Please welcome to the stage my sister, Jennifer.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so this is a family affair. My husband is working the computer. My parents are somewhere in the room. Okay, so do I start now? Okay, great. Can everyone see this photo? Okay, great. You're supposed to, because that's my brother, Jason Rosado, on the left-hand side. Okay, so as he mentioned, he's my little brother, and a major reason why we're all here. I prepared some notes just to keep to the time frame, so bear with me. But while tonight may be his birthday celebration, it's not about him. It's not about this awesome opportunity for a throwback photo and making fun of my brother and my dad, who's also somewhere around here. There he is eating the free pad thai, which is pretty much where you can always find my dad. It's about hope, opportunity, and hard work. It's about Prep for Prep. Prep for Prep finds the most able children of color in New York City and prepares them for success in leading private schools. My brother Jason and I both had the privilege to graduate from Prep for Prep, so that's why we're here. Each year, 200 students are admitted to Prep's rigorous 14-month academic boot camp that bridges the gap between public school and private schools. This boot camp takes place over 2 summers, and also after school and during weekends of 5th and 6th grade. So imagine being told when you're 10 that, by the way, you're really smart and you have to go to summer school and stay after school to do extra work. It's sort of an enigma, but at the time you sort of figure there's something here, there's a great opportunity. So we sort of trusted the program and trusted our parents. I think we missed another photo opportunity to embarrass my brother with his big glasses from back then. But we went from growing up in a modest background in the Bronx and took New York City subway and bus system to a completely different world, going from our home in the Bronx, going to really elite private schools in the city and in Riverdale. And it was a really, really great experience. It was challenging, but it was a great experience. We had support from a network, not only our own families, but most importantly, the Prep for Prep family, which includes not only fellow Prep students, but also Prep teachers, Prep alumni, Prep administrators. It literally takes a village, and that's definitely the message from Prep. And it helped us graduate from a really great university, Wesleyan University. How many people in the house? Thank you very much. And went on to top grad schools. I ended up getting my MBA from Harvard, and Jason got his graduate degree from NYU. So definitely a testament to the support from the program and from that family. Support includes college counseling, career counseling, internships. I got my first internship through Prep for Prep at Goldman Sachs, which I'm no longer at, thank God, but I mean, sorry anyone who's at Goldman Sachs. But 91% of prep grads college grads end up earning their degrees from some of the best colleges and universities in the country. And for grad schools, most have attended Columbia, Harvard, and NYU. So it really is a great pool of people. But what's also really powerful, which actually surprised me, is the #1 career choice for prep alums is education. So it's not just farming out people who care just about business or making more money. It's about people who want to give back and understand the opportunity that they were given through going through a program like Prep for Prep. So there are many more stories beyond just my brother and I. But ultimately, there's only 200 kids that go every year. And behind those 200 kids is an enormous amount of support, educational support, people, resources, books, lab equipment that would be hugely helped by a donation from you guys tonight. So from an impact perspective, it can get you guys, your donation can help buy some of these materials. It can help send kids to visit future colleges and universities that they would go eventually to attend, and even make some trips to see international places. So thank you for your time. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Oh, no questions, but the next person up, which is a hard one to follow, obviously, is Teach for America. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm with Teach for America, and I will say that the Rosados are a hard act to follow, and I'm very, very proud to be here representing Teach for America, but also very pleased to follow Prep for Prep, which I have a special relationship with because Jason and I both had the opportunity to go to Fieldston. Not at the same time, I'm a little bit younger than him, but very happy to be here tonight, and I love it when things like this come full circle. So I am a very, very proud, lifelong New Yorker, and really, in what other city could an event like this happen on sort of a yucky night, the first week of December, to have an incredible group of entrepreneurs coming together, all to do good in New York City, in the United States, and in the world. And that really says something about New York. But right here in New York, just uptown from us, just to the east of us, across the river, there are stark inequities in our public education system. Many, many of our kids living in Brownsville, kids living in Mott Haven and in the South Bronx, don't have the opportunity to go to a great neighborhood school. They, for a variety of reasons, don't have the opportunity to connect with places like Prep for Prep. And they need schools that can serve them to help ensure that they become the leaders their communities and our city needs in the future. At Teach for America, we recruit and train and place high-achieving young people and professionals to serve in classrooms across the city in neighborhoods that need them most, so that they can help us build great neighborhood schools to serve all of our kids so that they can become leaders for their neighborhoods and in the city for the future. We recruit individual, can I go to the next slide? Oh, it doesn't matter, okay. We recruit individuals most likely to be great teachers now, but also leaders in the field of education in the future. Teachers like Julianne, who's on one of these slides, doing a science experiment with her kids in Brownsville. Julianne joined the Corps in 2010 with a graduate degree in elementary education from the University of Florida. She's been in her school where she first taught in Brownsville, Brooklyn for 5 years, and she's now a master teacher, helping to mentor and train new teachers, new Corps members, and about a dozen Teach for America alumni who are also serving in that school. New York City, our city, is home to 1.3 million kids. 1 in 3 kids lives below the federal poverty line, and we all know that many, many more kids live at the edges. In the neighborhoods where we serve, only 1 in 10 students graduates ready for college. This is something that we have to address, and this is what Teach for America does every day. If we want all of our kids to have the opportunity to be the engineers, the entrepreneurs, and the elected officials of tomorrow, we have to address the root causes of education inequity in this city. In addition to their impact in the classroom, our Corps members who become Teach for America alumni go on to do great things to help all of our kids succeed in school. 2 of those alumni are Miriam and Alex, who did the Corps in 2008 and founded a company called Kinvolved, which uses technology to track absenteeism and at-risk kids by working with parents to make sure that their kids have great schools to go to, but also actually go to school, as this is the highest predictor. Absenteeism is the highest predictor of kids who won't go on to graduate from college and will not have the opportunity to succeed in life. So this is what Teach for America does. We are bringing really, really high achieving people into the classrooms. We're training them, we're developing them, and they are going on to build a network of people in this city and in this country to go on to do great things. Although we've been around for a little bit longer than many of the organizations here, we are always innovating. We're bringing new techniques and new opportunities to our kids and to our teachers, and we hope that you'll join us tonight by making a gift of any amount that's meaningful to you to help us continue to deliver our program to kids in New York City schools. Thank you.
Again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be with all of you tonight. Thank you so much from Jason and Quick to give me this opportunity. My name is Roya Mahbub, and I'm 27 years old entrepreneur from Afghanistan. And I'm also co-founder of Women Next Foundation. Our foundation is trying to empower women and girls in developing countries through digital literacy, sustainability, and building communities. So far, we could connected 55,000 of female students in Afghanistan to internet connection. And we also provide for 6,200 of them direct beneficiary of our training. Today, I am so excited to share with all of you about our very exciting project, Superhero Factory. I'm sure that all of you had your favorite superhero when you are growing up. Spider-Man, Batman, or Wonder Woman. But superheroes are not exist in our culture. The Superhero Project seeks to give the Afghan female an opportunity that they can create their heroes that they are inspired by. We all know that superheroes are so important for the children, especially for developing countries where war-torn area, where hope for good is what the child is hope for that. In a country where women are not supposed to talk, are not supposed to share their ideas, we are trying with the superhero to motivate them, to teach them and inspire them to think independently. We are also help them to create their own superhero and writing. We teach them how to design digitally and how about business and marketing. With your support, you will be able help them to change and inspire the life of many of the girls in Afghanistan. Be a superhero and help and support the women and girls in Afghanistan. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
I am here representing Black Girls Code, like I said. Since 2011, Black Girls Code has served over 3,000 girls. That's kind of exciting for me to be a part of this. We do this through our model of monthly workshops where we serve on average about 75 plus girls. But we really could not do it without the over 1,000 volunteers who are part of our database and help us to do everything from help the girls with the coding to get them registered. It's really an amazing effort to see them trying to memorize this, I apologize. So Black Girls Code is working to change the lives of girls of color. We work with girls of color between the ages of 7 and 17, but about 50% of those girls are between the ages of 10 and 12. We are growing. We currently have about 7 chapters. Our home chapter in San Francisco, the Bay Area, Atlanta, Dallas, Detroit, Memphis, Johannesburg, South Africa, and of course right here in New York. In 2015, however, we plan to expand to about 15 cities. Super exciting. And our big, bold goal is to teach 1 million girls to code by the year 2040. Thank you. Any questions?
Do you have any theories on just the precipitous drop of computer science graduates as computer science became more of a necessity? Because it seems like it's inversely proportional, and I don't really see anything masculine about coding or programming or computer science in general. It seems so bizarre to me that there are fewer women graduating with computer science degrees as a proportion compared to like 1975.
Okay. Well, I can't speak from experience because I do not know how to code. He was asking, I guess, perspective on the drop in computer science degree holders, women degree holders. what I can say is only what I've heard, which is there's a big problem not with them going and graduating necessarily, but inclusion seems to be the main issue. The women are not comfortable for one reason or another. I can't speak to that, obviously, like I said, but that seems to be the going thread, that at least from what I've heard.
So you're not a programmer?
No.
Are you turned off by it? Is it something you were never particularly interested in?
No, I don't think I was ever turned off by it. That's just not what I chose. I am with Black Girls Code because I support the mission. So I don't teach any girls how to code. I'm out and about in the community and making connections for the organization, recruiting girls to our workshops and things like that. Any other questions? Yes.
How does one set up a group to teach a group of girls to code?
You talk to me. If you're looking for something in New York specifically, or?
Yeah, but I'm interested in how it happened in the past to what was successful
Well,
in San Francisco.
Well, our home chapter's in San Francisco. That's where our founder is, and our main office is. If you were looking for some place outside of New York City, you would connect with them and work through the details of getting a chapter or a workshop set up. I can give you that information later if you'd like. Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Can I get a round of applause for all the organizations that have been involved so far, Giving Tuesday here and around the world? I'm going to start out by asking two questions. Can you guys make some noise if you are fans of music? Do people here like music? I'm going to ask one more question. Building Beats, our research and development team, we found the secret to life. If you want to know the secret to life, I need to hear you make some noise. So what we've done is we've found that the biggest way we can improve youth in New York City and beyond is through mentorship. That's the secret to life. Having a mentor, having someone that can guide you, and no matter what career, what kind of hobby, whatever passion you have, we've used mentorship and music and tied it together to develop Building Beats. Building Beats, we teach business, leadership, and entrepreneurship skills through music production and DJ workshops. How I came about doing that is being a DJ myself. I'm actually DJing this event. I've learned that you can network, you can learn how to throw events, and you can learn how to collaborate with other people making music. Using those skills, we've been able to teach other people, other students, how to change their passions into their own businesses, into their own careers. Our project that we're fundraising for this year is actually a partnership with Carnegie Hall. Carnegie Hall, known as a traditional music facility, has partnered with us so that we can develop a digital music production program. We're going to be working with 500 New York City youth in underprivileged communities and incarcerated youth throughout the state to help them develop their digital music skills. What we believe is working with these kids, working with an institution like Carnegie Hall, we're going to be able to teach them the leadership, life, and entrepreneurship skills we want to give to them. We're inspired by artists such as Jay-Z, such as Kanye West, such as Dr. Dre, who's been able to build their own dynasties, build their own thrones, and build their own enterprises through music. Just like Dr. Dre, how he began as a rapper, making beats as a producer, to making Beats by Dre headphones, and then finally using Beats by Dre headphones and selling it to Apple. Learning these different business skills through his passion for music is what we want to inspire in our youth. So this $5,000 will really help us go far. We have a $23,000 fundraising goal to fulfill this partnership with Carnegie Hall. So we're hoping our digital music workshops can inspire youth tomorrow to be business leaders and leaders in their communities. Any questions? So Building Beats started 2 years ago. We got incorporated actually early 2013. Full volunteer organization. I've founded it 2 years ago. No other questions?
Where are you guys located?
We're located all throughout New York. We don't have an office right now. We work at various schools, after-school programs, community centers. Carnegie Hall, we're hoping to be a long-term home base. This is a pilot project of ours that's going to begin in January, go to May, and it's going to happen every other Saturday. We're inviting the youth throughout the city who are interested in making music to get involved.
How many kids are currently now?
Say that again?
How many students are currently now?
You say students? Throughout the past year, we've worked with 300 students through our various DJing workshops and music production workshops. Yes. We've worked with organizations as small as the Scratch DJ Academy, which is a DJ school, allowing them to host their space for us to bring our students in. And other organizations we've been talking to is SoundCloud and doing some sort of internship program as well. Cool.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you so much. All right, so I'm from Whole Whale. I'm the chief whaler there, and basically we don't try to kill whales. Big misconception. We're obsessed with data and technology. So right now I've been doing a survey analysis of this room, and I can tell you that beer is directly corollary to more noise. Thai food less corollary to more noise. Just putting that out there. We already heard that trending worldwide was a topic, right, of Giving Tuesday. Currently, every 12 seconds or so, that was its peak, we were having another comment about Giving Tuesday. Pretty incredible. About 470,000 tweets thereabout today in order to do that. More importantly, we've been able to beat topics as important as Star Wars. Wait for it. And during certain moments, our nation cared more about Giving Tuesday than hashtag MTV Stars. Holy cow. That's something. We did it. We're there. One of the things, a couple of weeks ago, one of the things that I did was I was like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with Giving Tuesday and this idea that maybe we could take a bite out of the Cyber Mondays and the Black Fridays. And so another happy stat about Giving Tuesday, 0 people stomped to death at Walmart. Yes, that's fantastic. Getting back to some of the stats though, based on that 20,000 partners number, last year, just to give you a benchmark, last year there were 8,500 partners involved in Giving Tuesday. Because there's now 20,000 partners, I think that bolsters our estimate that there's going to be more than a doubling in the total amount raised. 27 million was the total amount raised in Giving Tuesday this year. Should be a little bit over $54 million, which would be unbelievable to double yet again. So applause for that. Thank you for that, guy. So the last stat I have here, and I calculated this very accurately, the dumbest thing you can do is run long when you're one of the last things before people get to have more partying. That's a stat. So I want to bring up Life Vest Inside, and Orly is going to be talking to us about that amazing organization.
Thank you so much for that awesome introduction. I'm really excited to be here. My name is Orly Waba, and I'm the founder of a nonprofit called Life Vest Inside. And Life Vest Inside is all about spreading kindness and empowering people and building self-esteem and self-value. Basically, helping people recognize just how amazing and awesome they are and the potential they have to affect change in the world with something as simple and as powerful as kindness. But at the heart of it all is the idea of empowerment. Helping people realize, because if you look at all the social issues in today's time, and we keep asking the question, why? Why do these social issues exist? It's because people stopped recognizing their value and that they matter. And that even though they might be 1 in 7 billion, guys, the number that matters the most is 1. Every single person is unique and significant. Just a bit about my background. I was a middle school teacher for 7 awesome, amazing years. And loved every second. I miss my students every second. And the concepts of the organization were concepts I implemented into my classroom on an everyday basis. And I saw the kind of impact that it made on the student's life. And I wanted to bring that to the world at large. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. My story really starts way before I was a teacher. It starts since I was a 4-year-old kid that wanted to change the world. It was my dream since I was a 4-year-old kid. But I was my goodness, I was very shy, I would not be on the stage talking, that's for sure. And I kind of got to realize my dream more and find my voice after a hardship I went through when I was 15 years old. went through a very tough depression, but I made a promise to myself then. And it's a promise that has guided me every single second. And that's to be there for people the way that I had wished somebody would have been there for me. It's what led me to teaching. It's what led me to what I do with Life Vests Inside. In my summer off from teaching, I decided I wanted to show people the ability of kindness to go from one person to the next and affect change in ways you can't even imagine. So I shot a film. When I got back to school, that school year, I said, you know, if I believe in this dream enough, since I was a 4-year-old kid, I gotta go all in. So I did something unthinkable. I left my job and invested all my savings into the organization. Put this film up online without knowing zero about social media or how anybody's gonna see it. And it reached over 30 million people globally. And impacted change in people's life. People messaging me about how it saved their life, how it helped them to start an organization, how it helped them to create a better relationship with their family and see themselves in a different way. Absolutely ridiculous from one film. But it was not just one film that Life Vests Inside is based on. We set out to affect global change and, like I say, fuel kindness. Whether it be through inspirational media like Kindness Boomerang, or education, on-the-ground social engagement, or technology, helping to empower people to realize and recognize that value and that beauty. Guys, one of the greatest on-the-ground social engagement events that we've done is called Dance for Kindness. And Dance for Kindness is a worldwide freeze mob, flash mob that happens in honor of World Kindness Day. And on that day, people from around the globe unite under the banner of kindness and dance the same song on the same day, all with that common idea of kindness. Regardless of the differences, guys, in race, religion, ethnicity, culture, regardless of all the reasons that, you know, the world tells us we should hate on one another, that common thread that ties us all together, guys, that's kindness. And if we just recognize that and realize that and see that within ourselves, we can change this whole entire world. So what are we doing here? So we've started an Indiegogo campaign, and we've titled our campaign Fuel Kindness, because everybody can fuel kindness in their very own way. It's not just about continuing Dance for Kindness, and this year marked our 3rd annual event with over 80 cities taking part in over 30 countries with over 10,000 participants and sharing ways that it's changed and impacted their life. But what do we want to do next? We've developed an educational curriculum that brings kindness, compassion, and empathy into the classroom. We want to get it out there to the schools, but we need your help. Or through Project Hope Exchange. This is like one of my favorite initiatives. It's an online platform where we collect, aggregate, and share 30-second audio messages of hope from people that have been through some kind of adversity to others who are currently facing that same adversity. And the most powerful and magical thing is that it's all done with 30 seconds and the power of the human voice. Or through so many other initiatives. Each of us here has an awesome opportunity in terms of giving. Through our Indiegogo campaign, we're looking to raise $100,000 in these next 30 days. And I know like it seems like a whole lot of money, but here's what we're doing. We're launching what's called the Fuel Kindness 10 for 10 Challenge. The idea is our goal is to get 1,000 people that will take the Fuel Kindness Challenge to raise just $10 from 10 people, but at the same time, make a commitment to an act of kindness that they want to embody over a 3-week period. Because like it says, it takes 3 weeks to acquire a habit. And the habit that we want to acquire is kindness. Fueling other people to fuel kindness and empower them to fuel kindness in their own way. Because it's the small things that we do. It's not those big things. It's not about what we do, but it's about who we are. So I ask each of you to join me in fueling kindness, because at the end of the day, it might have started off as my dream, but this is now our dream. And the kindness revolution has begun. Check out fuelkindness.com. Thank you all so much.